we a little bit more related than, any Joe Schmo out here. But, he's my cousin's cousin.
You going to Marshawn's house?
No, I'm not going to Marshawn's house, but she does.
So what you're saying is you and me got the same chance of going to Marshawn Lynch's house.
What's up, Internet World? We're the News 19 Nerds. I'm Leroy.
I'm Loren.
I'm Michael.
I don't know if the finger pointing went to the right way based on how this looks, because I'm doing it based on how I see y'all.
I don't know. We'll find out in the edit. Make no promises.
Right. So
we finally here.
Season finale.
Yeah. Man.
How y'all feel?
Stuff happened.
Honestly, I feel good about it.
Really?
I know, okay. Michael. I feel about it with some, but I feel good about it.
Loren, Loren, you know me very well.
Yep.
Loren, do it again. How Michael can hit us with the. Do it again.
That was accurate. This season the season finale was kind of.
But how can you say it? Like, we got answers.
Did we?
I felt like we got some answers to stuff.
I mean,
Leroy, sip tea when you can come in too. Chime in with your comments.
I think for
literally
me,
sipping tea too.
my favorite. I don't know if we did it on our reviews, but when we talked with the multicultural sci-fi people, we all kind of went down the line and said our favorite characters, and I said my favorite character was Bernard.
Yep.
So for me,
okay,
there wasn't a lot of Bernard this season, and so maybe that's why I felt I kind of got rubbed the wrong way.
No.
It definitely seems like he's being set up for a lot in season 4, hopefully.
Yeah.
But this was just kind of like I was hoping we were gonna. It seemed like we were teased with this whole Jekyll and Mr. Hyde thing of Bernard and that prompt.
But
the button. I don't feel like they really used that to the fullest in the season. I don't know. So that's probably why I kind of got rubbed the wrong way for this season. I do like overall some character arcs for people. Like I think Dolores had a pretty good character arc. I like what happened with Dolores and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Maeve, Caleb, poor little Vincent Cassell. Oh man, his world just
they just left him there. They just left him.
He was just disillusioned, and it was great the way. I mean, I'm just jumping all around, but it was great as he was like, "Man, I'm still in control." Like, nah, bruh. They was steps. As soon as it's like, nah, they got you.
Yeah,
this is exactly what they wanted. You don't even see it, but it was nice the way it all played out.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciated Maeve in this episode. She went off. Charlotte went off. Both, completely different, doing their own thing. You know. Dolores
Prime or Dolores?
Dolores Prime.
Okay.
I thought we were gonna get more, but then it kind of made sense as to why we didn't get as much from her this episode as I thought we were gonna get. I thought she was literally gonna be like blowing up the world, which I mean she did, but not in an action way.
Well, I guess it goes to that point of she did, but not in the way everybody thought she. Everybody thought Dolores was angry and she was going to destroy humanity because of what was done to her. And I warned everybody, she is not the Grim Reaper that y'all think she is. This is part of her plan to liberate humanity. And that's why I was Team Dolores. Everybody else seemed to be bit players. And this season really was Dolores' season. Dolores Prime. And everybody else, the way it seemed the show was written was that everybody else was set up for bigger roles in a season 4. Caleb's role, a bigger role in season 4. Maeve, season 4. Michael alluded to Arnold, Bernard, whatever his name is. All of these people were set up for a season 4 main arc. And we realized in hindsight being 2020, the reason why it was set up that way is because Dolores, spoiler alert, dies. Dolores Prime dies this season, and that sets up for season 4 of whatever this new world NWO is going to be. I'm going to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of with Michael on this one. I liked the season. I really did. But it left me a little at the end of it.
Where did the come in?
You set Sirach Vincent Cassell up to be this big bad. And then you set up Rehoboam to be this big bad as well, and you realize Rehoboam is Sirach in a sense, where Sirach surrendered himself to basically be controlled by Rehoboam.
Mm-hmm.
So you spent all this time building up this animosity, this division between Team Sirach and Team Dolores, and you left them. It was all this build up for nothing. You see what I'm saying? Like, and now you have Dolores out there angry. I don't know what, whatever her plan is, but it was almost like I don't want to say you wasted this season, but I would have liked to have seen them continue on with Sirach and Rehoboam still being around to try to control where humanity goes. Because
didn't Caleb have the ability to turn him back on?
I mean, he could, but he told him to erase himself. So that's, years of data just poof, gone. And Sirach doesn't know what to do now because he spent all of his life, his adult life, listening to a computer program. So he doesn't have the necessary faculties to continue on being in charge and being the devil he was set up to be.
I like that. I like the fact that he was following this machine. Because it's kind of like, and following his creation, which is now more powerful than him. I did like that, and seeing the thing behind his ear where it's like he's telling him everything to say because this is the calculated move. This is how you. I don't know because you do try. I feel like as humans, we try to figure out what we're doing in life, and a lot of us do not know, wandering around aimlessly. Why not have something that could?
I agree with.
In conversations, because sometimes I'll have conversations and I'll go back and like, dang, why didn't I say this, or like, why didn't I do? So if I had,
well, that's just people. I have plenty of arguments in the shower that I win that I lost earlier that day.
But I just thought that was cool because it's kind of feeding into your human instinct of wanting to know what to do, and needing guidance throughout your life because you're just wandering around aimlessly, honestly.
I agree with all of that. My problem was you set them up to be this big bad, and they were taken out so easily.
Because there really isn't a big bad like that. I mean, I think because it's like we have all these perceptions, like you were saying, everybody has this perception of Dolores, and like she's going to be the one that blows up. I thought that she was going to be the one that blows up the world, And I liked the fact that we got to know her real truth. But yeah, I guess it is one of those, like, there really isn't this big bad that we're thinking. We're living this one way and thinking things are going to go this way, but really they're just being public.
Maybe I'm not explaining it the best way. Rehoboam basically controlled the world,
mm-hmm.
and to be taken out that easily is my problem. In other words, we find out that we leave Westworld, we leave Delos's, all these different worlds that Delos has created with the information that Insight provided. Insight funded, or we use that information to create Rehoboam. Vincent Cassell's character, Sirach, has basically controlled the world and manipulated. My problem, not that necessarily he was a big bad, it was so easy to take them down.
Yeah.
And that's my. In other words, it was so easy to up in this world. To me, it shouldn't have been able to be done in a couple of months. And that's my problem. And maybe Michael can talk about this a little bit more. I can see why he was a little disappointed with Bernard. I know we talked to the multicultural, the guys we talked to last week. They were talking about they wanted Maeve's character to be a little. We see that we didn't get to see that until this final episode where Maeve was this character, and that's where I say this big bad where you basically destroyed and changed the world in a couple of months. Like, I felt like Rehoboam should have been anticipating it shouldn't have been that easy. And that's my problem with the season.
I think it's funny because, and I'm not knocking anything that you're saying. Like, I agree with that. But I also am thinking like, hey, when someone is sitting up high and has all the power, they're not really, they feel like they're untouchable. So maybe their guard is down. So maybe Rehoboam, even though he has all this knowledge and knows every scenario, it's like this person is still an outlier. So they're not going to be able to take me down because they're inferior to me. You know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. I can't predict their movement, so I can't predict what they would do. I feel what you're saying.
Mike, it's a very human type of mentality that the AI was showing, right? And that the hubris of not thinking your adversaries would be up to what you were expecting. Like bringing them into the hen house was kind of like almost like a Trojan horse type thing, right? Where you're like, oh, you bring Dolores in, oh, she's done. Little do you know, she almost has a virus type thing. This episode reminded me so much of, what was the last Matrix movie? Revolutions?
Yeah.
Revelations?
Revolutions.
Whatever it was.
Revolutions was 3.
Yeah. That it just kind of reminded me of that last scene where Neo kind of worked with the machines to beat Agent Smith, where he had the virus uploaded in him this entire time. Agent Smith is thinking he's able to beat him. He doesn't know it's kind of a Trojan horse to kind of upload that virus into him. It made me think of that. One thing, when I saw the little piece on Sirach's ear, did anybody else think for a second, oh, this guy's been a robot the entire time?
Yes.
I was like, oh, that would have been an interesting twist if he had been a robot. I was like, oh, okay. It turned out, no, it's a human who just gave his life over to the robot. That's fine. I just thought that would have been an interesting twist. I liked the way the last part of the show was shot with, we see Maeve touch Dolores for a second, and we're like, okay, they just touched for a second, blah, blah. And then they kind of go back to that scene and replay it out. And, to us, it seemed like an instantaneous second, but for them, it could have been an eternity of them talking back and forth in Dolores' mind. I like how that played out. And then they cut to Maeve now has put a sword through somebody. I thought that was shot very well. Shout out to Loren's cousin.
Cousin, man. He came
Stop it.
Trying to break down barriers, bodying barriers for the riot.
Son, until I see photographic evidence of this cousin's, I refuse to believe. Loren telling me he related to everybody.
He's my cousin's cousin. Get it straight. It ain't no cousin. It's literally my cousin's cousin.
Loren tells me she related to everybody. So
two cousins.
I'm saying my cousin is his cousin because she married into the family. So, like, we a little bit more related than any Joe Schmo out here, but he's my cousin's cousin.
You going to Marshawn's house?
No, I'm not going to Marshawn's house, but she does.
So what you're saying is you and me got the same chance of going to Marshawn Lynch's house. So we related about the same.
Higher chance of going to Marshawn's house.
So all three of us about the same way related.
Bravo, sir. Marshawn Lynch, friend of the show, Lauren's cousin's cousin.
just two cousins, Leroy. Only two cousins.
Right, don't be trying to add no degrees of separation.
So, until I see evidence, some kind of genealogy chart.
But either way, however many cousins he is, it was great to see him back along with Lena. Is it Waite or White? How do you say her last name? Wait. It was great to see them come back because I thought it was weird that we saw him in the first episode, like, okay, they're one and done, but no, we kind of see him throughout the season. I like that a lot. It would be nice if they come back for season 4.
I was sad to see them because I knew it was, and I hope that we see them in season 4. I really do. Mm-hmm. But I was sad to see them because I kind of, in my mind, I was like, I didn't want this to end, but all I could think of was what Liam was saying. He's like, oh, y'all think y'all good? Let me tell you how y'all die. And in the back of my mind, when they showed up, I was like, "Oh no, don't die!" Like I didn't want to see Lena die. Like I don't want to see Marshawn Lynch go down. Like I was I was hurt when Marshawn got shot. And then
it's like the Patriots stuffed that line again and just stopped them.
Sir, don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. I lost money, sir. I lost money. No, it was really good to see them, and it was really great to see how this episode built up. And that, I don't know if you guys paid attention to the trailers that we saw. You never saw any of the scenes after Dolores is caught, Dolores Prime. After that,
right?
We almost you really thought like the riot, Dolores and Caleb, this big fight that you thought was going to happen was going to be the episode. And it's like, and like Michael brings up, it was that twist. And Loren, you mentioned it too. Dolores was going to break the world. We thought through violence. And it was really a conversation. It was really a dialogue between Dolores and Maeve that turned the tide. And I thought was very interesting when Maeve said, we were never friends. Mm-mm. We had different stories. And it wasn't until the end that I understood who she was and what she wanted. And I thought that was brilliant, because we had the trope the entire time of these two women fighting. And it was at the end, Dolores was like, I don't want to fight you, but it's time for you to pick a side. And I thought that, I'll be honest with you, to me, that was beautiful. Like, I really appreciated that part of this show.
Can we talk about Dolores' training day moment? Y'all all copies of me. I was
just... she pulled out some Denzel for a second. I was like, oh.
Denzel on training day. I was like, oh, man.
I didn't see it as training day, but I was like,
that was just,
when you said it, I was like, that's a lot of shade she threw. She was like, oh, you don't think all of y'all are copies.
Yeah.
I'm the original.
The first one that worked, yo.
Yeah.
So, that was a ton of shade just now.
Yeah, that was nice. One thing I didn't like, my two big gripes with the episode is, and it's a trope that a lot of shows do, where the person that you think, we talked about how Dolores didn't destroy the world the way we thought she would.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's a thing that happens in narrative stories where just explain your plan to everybody and it would go so much easier. Like, I get why you don't, because then you may not have a show. But to me, it just doesn't make sense logically to be like, oh, no, I'm not going to blow everything up the way you think I am. And if you tell Maeve that, I feel like you won't have to go through this process.
But I feel like you couldn't tell Maeve that.
Uh-huh.
I feel like I get where you're coming from, and I think it works in a lot of other shows if you do it that way. I think in this show, it's hard because of the way technology works. Whatever Dolores told Maeve, Sirach was going to know. And I felt like that's the one thing she couldn't count on. I can't trust Maeve. In other words, Maeve almost had to get to that point where Maeve had no other option. And now I can tell you my plan, because if I'd have told you this in the beginning, you'd have just told, it didn't matter what Dolores told Maeve. It was always bad to Sirach.
Mm-hmm.
And Maeve didn't realize that she wouldn't go get what she wanted until the end, when she saw how dangerous Sirach and Rehoboam were. And then another thing I think too was Caleb really changed her mind as well, because when she said, you got seduced by Dolores as well, and Caleb was like, we weren't boning. Like, it was kind of like that whole, I get where you're coming from. I just think it wouldn't have worked in this instance. And also because if any of the copies got caught, Dolores, and I feel like that, I felt like that was one of the better things they did in this show. The fact of one of your allies turns out to be your nemesis.
So, like, Dolores about to be straight, yeah, I'm killing all humans, and now this world gonna be nothing but hosts, right? Is that what we think Dolores is going?
That's what she's doing.
Or at least the hosts are gonna be on top. They're not gonna be equal.
Yeah.
I think it's a situation of Dolores is angry.
Oh, she angry, yeah.
And that And but I find it interesting that Dolores is the one who had the human connection that we all thought Dolores Prime didn't have, is the one who ended up trying to burn the world down now. She's the one who had the family. She had green-eyed Michael Easley and Miles Morales, and it was snatched from her. Now she's the one who's going to destroy the world.
But isn't that what humans would do? If you had your family stripped from you, if you had your family tragically taken from you and you've been through all this stuff or whatever, you'd be pissed at everything and everybody and want to burn the world down. So I think she's more tapping into whatever her human element is, more so than what Dolores was doing. And, you know, and even keeping the burn so that she remembers the struggle that she came through. Because she could have got rid of that burn.
She kept the burn so she could remember what humans are capable, or what you are capable of, talking about the Man in Black, or talking about Williams. Yeah. Human.
I think the difference, or I feel where you're coming from, Loren. I think the one thing is, I find it interesting that she's the one who's like, burn it all down. Like, you burned me, I survived. You took everything from me. And it was Dolores Prime who was the one who was trying to liberate them. And Dolores lost sight of what they were trying to do. She got her own little family. It got taken from her. I said taken. Woo. And she's the one who's like, oh no, they all gotta go now. And she's the one who's turned and snitched to Maeve, who gave Maeve, and she's the one who destroyed Hector's pearl. And like, it's so interesting that she's the one that's totally now, and it's funny because she said it. We started at the same place, but we're not the same person. And I find it interesting. Like, I agree with Loren. It's just so interesting. It's like, I did not see that coming.
Hurt people.
And then
her host.
Wow. Okay.
And look, Dolores kept all the good memories, right? She kept all her good memories.
I was drinking I almost spent everything I was drinking on this laptop. I hate you.
I'm just saying, like, Dolores kept her good memories, you know. But now, Dolores only got these bad memories to feed off of, to move forward with. So, my bad, Mike.
Loren said, hurt host.
Yeah.
I hate you, Loren.
What was I gonna say? Dang it.
Well, how do you feel about, I know, and I'm the thirdest of you, Michael, because how do you feel now about Bernard's arc?
What arc? I'm not saying he got some nice moments, right? Because it was cool. Hey, Gina Torres still looked beautiful as a 70-year-old lady. I was like, man, Gina, you still looking beautiful.
Sir, but at 70, she looked better than me at 40.
Yeah, get it, Gina Torres. But it was nice to see Gina Torres come back so that Bernard could be. And what's his alter ego when he's not Bernard? What is it?
Angry Bernard?
No, not the other person inside of Bernard. Arnold, yes. That was kind of nice that they got to meet, because I guess Gina Torres essentially has dementia, right? Is what we're getting from that? Or some type of degenerative brain disease or something that's taking away her memories. And she kind of has a moment of lucidity for a second where she talks with Bernard/Arnold about, I remember his laugh and his smile. I think that was nice. And that kind of set him on the path to open up this thing and shut down and come back home. Yeah, the Sublime. Side question. Where are they at that this place can be shut down and there's so much dust and whatever in the room, but nobody comes and checks on the room? Like, where is he at?
Well, they alluded to, because I was trying to figure out what time it was, because they alluded to it at the end in the post-credit scenes or whatever, saying
Decades.
that it's been years or whatever. Because I even wrote down, like, well, how long had he been downloading this whole, like, Sublime situation? Did he just go there? Whatever. Because I'm still trying to figure out, is that what Maeve has been looking for?
Yes.
The whole time? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So the reason why I asked you that, Michael, is Maeve has been looking for that Sublime, Loren, because that's where her daughter is.
Yeah.
She wants to go to Sublime because she missed her chance. So Rock wanted the Sublime for his own personal, because he knew the data for it. He believed the data that Delos was working on, immortality, the idea that people could live forever that Delos was working on, was in the Sublime. Charlotte was supposed to send that out with Mr. Abernathy and that whole thing. The reason why I asked about Bernard's, and it's not even an arc. The fact that he is set up to be, maybe the savior, and he was the one, he had been chasing, misjudging Dolores the whole time, and now we see basically he probably will be the one who enacts whatever plan or saves humanity. I don't know what his plan is or what, but I like that, because I was disappointed in his whole arc the entire time, but that last shot, him just with the little thing on, and him just looking up, that to me, I'm not gonna lie, it did make up for.
You got to whiten your beard like he did at the end. Where are you going?
Sorry.
Right, can you get?
What? It's like I'm living the episode again. That's all. It's cool. That's all I'm saying.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
I don't like y'all tonight. I'm just gonna say that.
I'm just
I feel like I wish there was some type of News 19 Nerds HR I could go to, but because I feel like I'm being bullied. No,
Please don't, man.
Yeah, I really did enjoy that scene, or that tease that maybe we'll see something more from Bernard, because I felt he was underutilized.
Yeah.
10 episodes. 10 episodes, that brother was just sidelined. Him and his side
Stubbs, man. Stubbs might be the worst bodyguard ever. I don't feel like Stubbs ever protected him, really.
First of all, that wasn't all Stubbs' fault, because Stubbs told you to kill William.
He did. That's
Stubbs. I told him.
Yeah.
As he got shot.
Yeah.
Stubbs said, "I told him." Literally.
Pretty much. Who have we talked about yet?
I find it interesting, Clifford, or Clifton Collins Jr., who was the original guy running around with William.
Yeah.
Lazo or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like seeing him, and
so he was the final Dolores, right?
Yeah.
Which I didn't feel like was, maybe because again I was asleep for the first season, but I didn't feel like it was that big of a to me.
It was, because he was the guy who was running around with William when he was looking for the mace.
Yeah.
So I like that. Again, I'm caught in where I like this season. I really did. I love this season, but I did not like the conclusion. And it does. In the beginning, I was thinking, okay, it's all going to work out. It's all going to work out. But I think it was it Darian, when we were talking to Multicultural, who was like, he wondered, was this season actually finished when they went to shoot? Because I'm feeling it was.
Yeah, that was Darian.
Yeah.
And I said I was withholding judgment until the season was over, and then let's judge the season as a whole. But he was onto something when he's like, maybe the season wasn't done because it feels undercooked.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some truth to this is not Westworld. It almost should be called something else, because this season was something totally different. But I feel like it wasn't as tight as it could have been. There was a lot that I felt was left, that I thought was things that I thought were great, things I thought were good, and things I thought were like the whole idea of Stubbs being a host, I felt like was underutilized. Like all he did was get shot every episode he was in.
Yeah.
Either he was shot or he got shot.
Yeah.
I'm really interested in seeing what Charlotte's gonna do next, though. I do, and Maeve, because Maeve is still searching for something, but she's searching for this opportunity to be with her daughter, right? And that's been fueling her. But I still feel like she's so much more powerful than than the average host. One, she can control everybody. Two, she has the ability to control all the technology around her to the point where she was, freeze all motor functions and still functioning to be able to blow up the trigger that was in Sirach's hand. So I just feel like she's so much more powerful than what we've been able to see. And she's kind of like this caged bird. And now that she's out, it's like, I want to see more of that. And then again, with Charlotte's just rage that she has and all the hosts that she's trying to make, I'm interested in seeing how that looks for season 4 and what time are they in season 4. And then when it came to Caleb, I felt like, his memories were taken away from him or not as smooth as people's memories would be in normal situations where they've had like trauma, or maybe not trauma, because you do kind of just block things out with that. But I liked seeing more of his backstory with the military and knowing that Delos was using them for their training was interesting. And he kind of was like the bigger man and saying, we're not going to abuse these hosts, because it would be just as bad as these rich guys that we don't like, So I did appreciate that. And it kind of gave me more of like, okay, Caleb is, he's not the perfect person. He's an outlier, right? But he still is human and still has those human elements that make him a candidate to be a leader. I don't know.
I wish we had gotten more of that scene where he was with his buddies, as they were, taking out the bad host or whatever, and then whether or not the guys, the crappy guys, were gonna, possibly assault the female. Sorry, go ahead, Leroy.
No, I was going to say those were not his buddies.
Yeah. Okay. Those were not his battle buddies.
I would say anybody attempting to who's about to condone rape is not a friend.
The people who were fighting alongside him.
Yeah.
I wish we had kind of gotten glimpse of that earlier in the season.
Yeah, me too.
Because I feel like it would have been a bigger punch if we had seen this throughout the season and be like, oh, that's how all this ties together with his memories. Because they still could have saved the reveal that Dolores was one of the girls there to episode 8, but I feel like they could have shown some of that scene in the first episode.
Because all they were giving us was like his relationship with Francis and like him dying, and they kind of put a bow on that last episode. So they could have definitely given us that throughout the show.
Yeah. It's funny you mentioned that because I thought that was I agree with you, but I thought that was one of the best parts of this episode, this idea that everybody thought, because we've been conditioned to believe the way the show was written, Dolores wanted to burn the world for vengeance, which is what we see Dolores doing, Charlotte Hale's character doing. But I find it interesting that Maeve was the one who explained to him, she didn't pick you because you were violent. She picked you because you were human. We all have the capacity to be decent people, horrible people, and that was why she picked him. And there is truth to that. Dolores had a plan and she manipulated stuff, but she picked him for a particular reason. And going to Michael's point, I like that part. Mm-hmm. Maybe you're right. Maybe we should have had more of that in the beginning. And I guess that's the thing I think we missed in this episode, this season as a whole. This idea that Dolores saw the beauty in humanity and that there was something worth saving.
Because it was last minute. It was super last minute to me.
It really was. And I like Dolores because I like Dolores because I see similarities between her and in the comics that I read, and a character who's had a lot of pain in their life, who manifests that pain in different ways, but also remember she's learning as she's going on, because she told Maeve that. She says, Yeah, I was angry. And I wanted to destroy them. Remember, Dolores wanted to destroy the Sublime at first. Dolores wanted, she was like, nah, don't let them go up there. That's cheating. And then it was Bernard who stopped her. So I agree with you, Michael. I wish there would have been more of that in the beginning instead of this, I don't want to say cat and mouse game with Caleb's memory, but it seemed like they were trying to trick us into thinking, oh, he's the reason why she picked him. Because there was that scene at the end where Bernard said she's going to destroy the world. If she can't do it, she has someone. We were fed that the entire season. And then you found out there was a reason why she picked him. That capacity for goodness, that capacity to do something, to not look away. Because if you notice, his superior was like, deuces.
Yeah.
Like he literally turned a blind eye. And that was that little thing where Caleb was like, nah, I'm not going to let y'all give into your baser instincts because you believe that they're not real. I don't know. I'm really torn on this season, at least the conclusion. Loren, I think you're going to get a little bit of that Maeve that you're looking for, because she says at the end to Caleb, I was looking for my daughter. I know that I won't get her right now. So, and she's like, here's the new world order. You can be whoever you want to be. Hashtag Grand Theft Auto.
Yes. I really like the way they played with that whole RICO system again of the economy of, oh, these people are trying to kill me. I'll pay you triple the amount. Now kill these people. That is so wild.
Who did they talk to, though? Who was Dolores talking to? Because was it still, I want to know what the system was, because at first I thought it was Solomon talking to Caleb in the beginning of the episode, but then I'm like, no, Solomon's offline now. Like he's not around. So I was just trying to figure out, is this like a modified GPS system that also, because she's like, you're not on the right path. You still got to get to this.
So remember when Dolores first showed up and she was walking around in her Transformer dress. She was hacking motorcycles.
Yeah.
Caleb has that in his ear. Remember when she snatched off that insight data and she went to that dude who was basically beating up Asian women for fun?
Yeah, but what is it?
I believe it's some type of AI that if you can afford it, kind of like on the dark web, which will help you do whatever it is that you need to do. And keep in mind, these hosts have encryption upon encryption and are smarter than we are.
Yeah, and I get that Dolores can do it, and I get that Maeve can do, but I didn't understand how Caleb could do it.
So he's not doing it. He just has the system in his ear.
He just had the piece.
The AI. Remember the AI?
Whatever.
Remember, Dolores had a little thing on her ear that looked like an earring, but it was actually an earpiece that was actually telling her. Because remember when Dolores showed up and she was cutting herself, and she was like, buy the room next to the room?
Yeah.
The AI to do these things.
But at one point in the episode, it seemed like Caleb was able to give a command.
AI. Basically, it's like Siri.
I don't think he was able to do it like the hosts were. I just think he had the input device or whatever, I guess.
My question now is, so what is that? Like, because is it another like insight type? Because you know what I'm saying? Like, where is this AI?
I think it's Alexa 2040 or whatever.
Yeah, it's basically this. I mean, it's basically a high functioning AI. So everybody right now is running around excited about Alexa, Siri, whatever whatever your home thing it is. In the future that has hosts, they have AI that's sophisticated enough to be your valet that can do whatever you need to do. And Dolores probably hacked it and was like, yo, I need you to be able to hack machines, motorcycles, and she gave that to Caleb as a and you're right, Loren, they didn't explain that well, because it's like, how did Caleb know to pull the pearl from Dolores to take to LA to go to, like, there's a lot of that. And I think it's one of those things where they expect us to follow along. But I think that's where it comes back to, again, Darian, I'm trying to make sure I get his name right. Darian was on something 2-3 weeks ago. He was like, maybe this season isn't as well written as season 1 and 2 was. Because if you're still having those questions now, they did not do a good job of explaining their show to you.
I still enjoyed the season, though. I'll say that. I did enjoy the season.
I wish they had done it's probably a budgetary thing, but they really wanted you to get this idea that the whole world was on fire, but we really only saw one setting of the world being on fire. And I don't know if that was a budgetary thing or something. Like, show me something happening on the other side of the world.
They alluded to it with the clock because in the beginning, you saw all those disturbances. They just focused in on LA, so they did allude to it, but not enough visually, I guess.
Yeah.
One of the things I want to ask you guys about in this season, because we've talked about that this is really a different show than what it was in the beginning. What do you think going forward they are going to do or they can do? Because I don't want to say they've written themselves into a corner, but they have written themselves in a very awkward situation because now you have all this technology. You've explored the idea of what humanity does when they are given basically robot slaves, and robot slaves then wake up and realize that they are slaves. They revolt, and then they break out and they realize they're in this whole other world. People are slaves. Where can you go in season 4 that can keep people's attention? Because Loren alludes to this and says, "What is Maeve's drive? You can't get your daughter. What is season 4 going to give us?"
You're gonna be mad, but they got 2 options, like I said.
What's the 2 options?
Underwater.
Or in space?
Or in space.
So you went little.
Or it'll be overrun with hosts, right? So it's like me as a human, I gotta the hosts already know that I'm human. So radars and things, like they can see my heart beating and whatever as I'm running through whatever dystopian society is now there. Kind of like Walking Dead, but with hosts killing the humans. Because look, we need this planet for our own. Y'all ain't providing us with nothing. Dolores should have did this, and only place y'all can go now is space or underwater because y'all gonna have the technology to be able to have a whole city underwater or whatever and still be able to breathe. But you either go underwater or space.
So Loren, your idea is either they go Little Mermaid or they go Wall-E in space. That's what you got.
Those are the only options. That's all we got.
Michael, what you got?
I'm done. I wasn't ready for that. Wow. For me, I think season 4 is probably just maybe really exploring the idea of what it means to have choice now, since supposedly the world is free. So maybe they'll give a deeper representation of what that is. I don't know what that is, but I feel like that's where they go now, and hopefully Bernard can have something to do. And William, man, I'm tired of William.
Harris is going to continue to get a check, Michael. So just to let you know, Harris is securing the bag always.
I think Ed Harris is a great actor, but William Man in Black, I'm done. I don't care. I do hope that, so we know Dolores Prime is dead, but I do hope Evan Rachel Wood is still on the show because I think she's been fantastic. I don't know how they bring her back in season 4, but I think she's been a great actress this show. And she's showing a bunch of range, so I would love to see her come back in some form in season 4.
I got it, though, because she's still connected to Charlotte Hale's Pearl. So maybe she comes back and attacks her like that. So, Charlotte will be just walking, trying to do boss stuff, and all of a sudden it's and it's Dolores,
I don't know.
Doing this.
Because to be fair, there's still her pearl, one of the Dolores pearls is in Clifton Collins, right?
Mm-hmm. So
maybe that pearl just says, "Hey, I'm going to go back into a Dolores Prime shell or something, just to bring the actress back." Because I don't hope she's not done with the show.
I feel you, I guess, but also I feel like I'm kind of hoping she doesn't come back I'm
So
kind
her
of
story has like a purpose or whatever.
I'm kind of hoping she doesn't come back because it as much as I love her, I hope that she doesn't come back so it gives her death a finality. Kind of like I felt like in season 1, Anthony Hopkins dying or getting killed.
Yeah.
I felt like it cheapened him a little bit by having him be a part of Bernard's mind, and it made a little, and it was almost too much. So I hope that she does, like, as much as I want to see her on screen, and as much as I love Dolores' character, I kind of hope she doesn't come back, just to give that Dolores Prime that finality that she sacrificed herself for this dream of humanity deciding for themselves. If given 10 years in the future, and we don't know, we just know it's a while. I'm kind of hoping we see what the hosts do with the tables turned.
But they're
with them being in
raised
charge?
by Charlotte though, and so
But
that's what's gonna be.
That's my point. In other words, each Dolores has the same memories of what was done to them. How they interpret it is different because she downloaded herself into Charlotte Hale, so she has that I'm a mother. I tried to take care of Miles Morales. He died because Doc Ock got him. You know, her version of Mary Jane, green eye, and keep in mind Mary Jane had green eyes too. So her Mary Jane Watson got blown up.
Michael James.
So
yeah,
you see how she, like Loren said, hurt host. I wasn't drinking this time, so I can appreciate that statement. I would like to see what the hosts do now that they are in charge, because Charlotte said, she said to William, "Oh, you were right. You just weren't right in the way you thought you were." And Charlotte Hale Dolores, given enough time, all the hosts that she's making, because we don't know who she's going to bring back, or if all of them are going to be her, or and remember, she has the data from Delos. So she has all the hosts backed up. Which host does she choose to bring back? And what does she choose to do with this power that she has? Soraka's gone, William's dead, or William works for her now. So what does the company of Delos do in the 10, 20 years from now? I think that's very interesting. I just don't know where they go with it.
So
I told y'all where they're going with it. That's perfect setup for space.
Okay.
Starting all of these episodes with a galaxy far, far away.
Wow.
We're gonna start in the sky, like in the stars. Some spaceship, somebody walking through. Maybe 4 Clone Wars. If she make all these Charlottes,
Loren, I'm gonna close this laptop on you. I'm really
Clone Wars Westworld.
Okay. I have a question though.
I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm out.
Loren, you keep saying stuff and then I forget what I was going to say.
Sorry. Hey, Loren come up with some far out stuff, and you just like, what?
Yeah, it just blows my mind.
Bravo, Loren, because I didn't see any of that coming.
It'd be a good ending to the season. You'd be like, yo, what? And then it was all a dream the whole time.
I'm gonna be mad. Hey, I'm gonna be mad as hell. Because I know when we watch season 4, if any of this stuff comes true, my phone will blow up doing this.
Like I told you. My cousin's cousin told me what was going to happen.
Cousin told me, man, because he got the
He's seen the scripts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, that's wild.
You figured out what you were going to say, Michael, before you got bushwhacked?
It wasn't that important. Yeah.
What would you rate this season?
Out of what? Out of 5? Out of 10?
I don't know. Yeah, out of 5.
I give it 3.5.
Okay.
Yeah, it was fine. I don't feel like they stuck the landing again. Maybe the season wasn't completely thought out as well as seasons 1 and 2 were. but maybe that gives us hope that they, in their mind, Lisa Joy and Jonathan Nolan knew we were going to get season 4. So maybe that one is a little more fleshed out. They planted the seeds in season 3 to make season 4 more fleshed out. So that's what I'm hoping for.
Okay.
Yeah.
Loren, what about you? What do you give this rating?
Yeah, 4 out of 5. I liked it. I really did like it. I enjoyed it. It kept me glued to the screen every week. So I liked it. The only thing I wish I had were some of those questions that I had earlier, like some of those answers of just like how does some of this technology work, and I mean maybe they don't know because I mean they just made it up, so maybe they really don't know.
Oh, okay, Leroy. Before you give us your review, this is what I wanted to know. So this multi-billion-dollar company, Delos, you see this man walk in at the end and shoot one person. They only got one security person. I was like, wait, you got one security and that's it? What is this?
Not only that, the owner, the former owner of the company shows up, who is dead. You have facial recognizing software, blood data that allows you to exit. He walks in, and don't nobody say, "Hey, sir."
Yeah.
Where you been?
You used to sign my paychecks. You still alive? What's happening?
Because I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I may not know
Dave Luigi?
Yeah, but if he showed up from his videos, hey man, you look familiar. Like the lady at the front, like his picture's not somewhere in the lobby.
Yeah.
She walks by every day. It really, Michael, thank you, Michael, for bringing that up. Because those were the little holes that I was like, we've seen all this technology control drones with sniper rifles or sniper rifle drones, helicopters that like. Thank you, Michael.
Y'all really don't understand entitlement. You let the guard down. I've seen it happen. Like like we're untouchable. So who would dare even come in here?
Son, Bank of America asks you who you are when you walk in.
Yeah.
You mean Delos that had a hostile takeover? That had literally robots coming out of the wall? Charlotte Hale doing her best Sigourney Weaver, just jacking people up in elevators. And the founder rolls up and is like, yo, thank you, Michael. Because the whole time I'm watching that, I was like, bruh. He shoots one dude. Y'all don't call the police. He gets to the research labs.
He does. I was like, wow, this is wild. All right, cool.
Like nobody said like and this is another thing. Why the security button where you can see? Even in banks, the security button's underneath.
Yeah.
Security.
Yeah, that was wild.
I was like, and this is the thing. After he left, he walked away. Nobody thought.
They were shocked that somebody died. They couldn't believe it.
That's the kind of stuff that I'm like, yo. But I'm with Loren. I enjoyed this season. I really did. There are a lot of holes in it. I give it a 4. I could go as low as a 3.75 or even where Michael was a 3.5. Because like it's like stuff like that really bothers me. Because it's like you gave us a fight between Maeve and Dolores, between a helicopter, and Dolores had a drone sniper rifle. But William's able to walk in and shoot a security guard with a Desert Eagle.
Maybe they didn't have no money for that.
The budget was over.
Like,
and also he was dealing with humans, correct? So these are all human beings. Maybe they're really just trying to say that humans just aren't it. We're going to be extinct eventually. So hosts are superior. They're going to have superior technology and all that stuff. So we're going to simplify these people. They riot or whatever. They shoot up some people, steal money or whatever, steal cars and stuff. And then we don't need a lot of security because.
I guess it really bothered me. I will say this show still is better with dealing with technology and the future of technology in season 3 than both seasons to me of, and again, I hate to say it, I enjoyed Altered Carbon, but if you look at some of these shows that are supposed to be light years into the future, Terminator, what's something else that came out? They dealt with this better than any other show. I will say this though.
Alien versus Predator?
So that's what we're doing? That's what we're doing? You could throw that in my face right now, huh?
I think I'm done on that one. Delores, give us your closing thoughts. I think I'm done. Loren just saying whatever she want tonight on this season finale. Yeah.
She on it tonight though. She came from my throat just now, just like the Man in Black came from William when they let him walk down to the research labs.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the season. I really did.
Wait a minute. You know what?
What?
William knows for a fact where the pearl is. Why are you shooting this thing in the chest and not in the face where the pearl is? Like, what is happening? What are we doing?
He shot him in the head. He shot him in the head
Did
here.
I thought he shot him in the chest.
Shot him in the head and he shot him in the chest.
Okay, then I take it back. All right, keep going.
I enjoyed the show. I enjoyed the season. It wasn't as tight as I wanted. I did want more in the season finale wrapped up. I appreciated Bernard more at the end with his, crown of electronics. I hope Stubbs is alive in that tub 10 years later or however many years later so they can, Stubbs can redeem himself from being a bullet sponge. Because you know what Stubbs reminds me of? Michael, you watch Archer. Who's the dude who keeps getting shot? Brett?
Yeah. I can't think of his name, but I know you're talking about, yeah.
Stubbs is Brett.
Yeah, Brett. Okay, yeah.
Keeps getting that's who Stubbs is. So I'm hoping Dolores stays dead. I'm really hoping Maeve, Caleb, and Bernard get the season they deserve. Because I really want to see what motivates them and what this new world order is going to be. And I hope Kevin Nash is in it since we're doing the new world order.
Oh,
that's my Loren thing for the night.
Yeah, I'm good.
Y'all, this was it for us. We'll come back with another show. We'll review. I guess we'll figure something out. I don't know what it's gonna be.
Maybe.
Who?
What?
I said maybe.
Oh, maybe. Okay.
I thought it was a show you just said.
Yeah, I thought it was too. I don't know. But we'll figure something out. But thank you for joining us for this review. I think we're going to try and team up with the Multicultural Sci-Fi Organization again, right? To do a season finale overall review sometime.
See how we all felt about this show. Because a lot of the stuff that they said came true.
Yeah. But you can always find us here on YouTube, also as well as Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, WOTX.com. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification. I think it's all the stuff, right? Yeah.
That's all right.
Cool. Thanks, Loren. Great. And we out. Peace.